Hello, 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 good morning, and welcome to my channel. Oh my gosh, someone there from Adelaide, Karen. It's going to be a hot one in Melbourne today as well, and actually really, really hot tomorrow. And tomorrow, being that it's semi-long weekend, I've taken the day off work so I can have a long weekend. We're going as a family to Gumbaya World, I think it's called, and we're going to be outside all day. So I'll definitely be slip-slopping and slapping and making sure I've got lots and lots of water to drink. But today, thank you for joining me. It's Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is around the corner. What are you making for Valentine's Day? Have you thought about Valentine's Day? Do you have a special someone in your life that you're going to make something special for? I just thought it was good timing to have a think about cards. And today we're going to use a little bit of foiling as well, just for a little bit of detail. If you don't know who I am, my name's Paul, and I share my Cricut knowledge and expertise with you so that you can master these incredible machines and products, and ultimately I want you to make beautiful things. As always, if you like what you're seeing, hit the like button, and also make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any content as it comes to hand. So yeah, let me know in the comments, what are you making for Valentine's Day? Let me just have a look and then we'll get started. If you're new here, type new in the comments as well, because I want to get to know you. If you've got a question, try and type it in caps, and that way it'll just make it easier for me to identify that question and make sure that I'm answering it. Hey Brenton, welcome, good morning. On a Sunday morning. Hey Chris, saying hi to everyone. Lenore's here from Queensland. Excellent. Oh, Nicole from Springfield, Queensland. My mum lives in Springfield in Brisbane. So you're possibly neighbours with my mum. Small world, huh? Anyway, let's get started. So what are we going to look at today? And I just want to show you some of the items that we're going to be using. Now, you can see here that I have cut out most of the cuts because I just wanted to go through that process sort of over and over for all these little pieces. So I thought I'd do a lot of the cutting that ahead of time. Something that I did as well in the spirit, last year I was wanting to really recycle or use up all my scraps. So look, today I even used the backing of one of the Anko shadow box frames from Kmart to cut one of these pieces here, which is really cool. It's like a really nice silver, it's almost like poster board actually, so I thought that was quite smart. And mentioned today as well, we're going to be using foil. I thought I had red foil, but I don't. So we're going to be using purple from this jewel sampler. This is actually my favorite. You can see I've got a couple of packs here ready to go. Obviously I need to go to Spotlight and get some more. But it comes in you've got 24 sheets and it comes in the green, the purple, and also the teal. So I think we'll use purple today. If you are looking for foil, so it's available at Harvey Norman, Spotlight, and I think Big W stocks it online as well. So yeah, you can get it in the 6x4s and also the 12x12s in the silver and gold. I'm pretty sure that if I cleaned my craft room, I would probably find that I actually have a red pack somewhere. But anyway, this is what we're going to use today. It'll be fun. So we're going to get started and we'll do that, and I'll talk through all of the other supplies as we go through. So I'm going to jump into Design Space. And here we go. And I'm just going to go to My Projects by clicking My Projects on the top right. And I'm going to click the link, and then I'm going to click Make It. Now, I have listed, there is a link to everything that I'm using today in the description, including a link to this project. So if you want to make it, just click on that link and it'll take you through to my Scissors Paper Paul page on Facebook, I think. Anyway, there is a link in there, and you'll be able to find it on my page. Actually, it's a pinned post on my Scissors Paper Paul page on Facebook. Anyway, so we've done all the cutting, but we want to do this one last piece with the beautiful foil. So I'm just going to click on these, and with the little 3 dots here, I'm just going to hide these selections because I've already cut them. So I don't want to cut them now. So I'm just going to hide those, and then I'm just going to drag this over to the top left corner. And then we're going to click Continue. Now I'm going to open my Maker and turn it on. And I've just realized it's unplugged. Won't be a sec. The plug just came out of the back. There we go. All right, so we'll move my keypad out of the way. And we'll just let that connect. Now the biggest thing when you're working with foil is that you've just got to make sure that you're following the instructions that are on the screen. Now, typically, we want to do things like, as soon as it's finished doing something, we want to eject the mat. Whereas with foil, sometimes we've got to do different things. Like we might have to remove the foil so that we can cut, or we might need to remove the foil and replace another color. So you're not necessarily always ejecting the mat after each process. So it's really important to follow the instructions that are on the screen in Design Space. And I'm going to show you that now. So just having a bit of trouble connecting. Have you used foil before? Let me know in the comments if you've not used foil before. That would be really interesting to know. And if not, why not? Oh, hello, Mr. Layton. That's my son there. Watching from the other room. Oh, yes, hey, Suzette, good picking. Well done. So we'll just wait for that to connect. While that's connecting, I will just get my cardstock again, just trying to recycle as much as I can. Put my cardstock on here. Now, cardstock typically comes with a smooth side and a textured side. Now, I've seen lots of projects in Design Space with people foiling on the textured side. Personally, I think I get a better result when I use the smoother side, but that's completely up to you. Here we go, it's finally connecting, so we'll just go back into Design Space. And we're going to choose our materials, which is medium cardstock. And it's telling us what to do. So first things first, we need to make sure that we've got our, we're loading our transfer tool, and I've done the fine tip, which is a 1 line. So let me just show you that as well. So here you can see we've got our tips, and the tips, there'll be either a 1, a 2, or a 3 line, and that's basically fine, medium, or bold tip. So I've got my fine tip in there. So I'm going to take out my fine point blade, okay, that we use for cutting, and then I'm going to insert my Cricut Foil Transfer Tool, just like that. Super, super easy. Now I'm going to jump into Design Space again so we can see the instructions. It's saying take the red foil on the base material. So that's what I'm going to do now as well. So we'll go to the overhead camera. I'm going to open up my pack of foil. All right. And I'm going to get some of our tape out ready to go. So there's enough tape for each piece of foil that you get in a pack. And then I'm going to get my purple. How gorgeous is that teal blue color? So pretty. I think that's my favorite color in the foil. So I'm just going to pull that out. Now I'm not going to need a full piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half. I'm just going to actually move that out the way so you can see this a little bit better. I'm just going to cut this in half. Okay. That should be plenty for what we need it to do. And then we're going to place that on the top section here. And then we're going to apply our tape. So I'm going to take one piece of tape. And here's a trick for you. So what is going to happen, I'm just going to go to the overhead, we'll go to both. So what's going to happen is when I place my tape down, the static is actually going to attract the foil to lift. So don't just put it straight down and stick it onto the cardstock or your medium, because it will bunch up a little bit. Lower it down really, really slowly, and as you get close to the foil, it will lift up, and then you can stick it all the way down. So hopefully you'll be able to see as we go through. It is hard to see. Once you start doing it, you'll see exactly what I mean. So I'm just going down really, really slowly. Okay, get my fingers as far to the left and right as I can. Going really, really slowly all the way down. Now the foil has just lifted up, and now I'm going to go all the way down. Okay, and then I'm just going to lightly press it down. You don't need to stick it super, super down. You want it firmly down, but you don't rub it or anything like that. But it will stay. As long as it's going to stay, because also you've got to remove this tape and you don't want to necessarily damage your project. And then the same thing. So I'm going all the way down, and excuse me if my fat head gets in the way, but I'm going all the way down until the foil lifts to the sticky tape. Okay, and then so it's stuck to the tape. I'm going to pull it nice and taut and stick it down. Okay, and then again just press it down so you can see hopefully that it's nice and taut and nice and smooth. And then we will stick our sides down. So you need to put tape around all 4 sides. Okay, again, I'm just going to go slowly. Now that the top and bottom are done, we don't have to be too fussed with the left and right, but again, just go slowly. And I'm also going to cut this, so I just got half a piece here as well. So just trim your tape up if you don't need a full strip. Basically, you want to save as much of the foil as we can. We don't want to waste it. Again, all the way down. And then pull it taut and then stick it down. Okay, so that is now ready to go. Okay, so Kizzy's saying I'm making it look easy. Look, it's a lot of trial and error. So I'm sharing my tips with you so that you can nail it each and every time. So now I'm just going to, again, follow the instructions, which is basically load the mat. So I'm going to load the mat like I would always. Wait for that C to start flashing, and then we're going to hit the C. All right. Nicole's saying that she needs to buy some foil. Yes, you need to buy some foil. It's such a cute medium. I do a lot of work with pens, so for me it's just it was a natural progression to look at implementing foil, but just that shine. I did a little test cut earlier today, and I mean, here's a pen, and the pen's gorgeous. It's lovely, but it's matte, it's dull. It's not going to have that shine, that gloss, that glimmer, and just that pop that the foil is going to have. And there we go. So now it's done. But again, that's what I said. Now, instinctively, what we want to do is we want to hit that eject button, right? But we don't do that yet. Let's have a look again in Design Space and let's see what it's telling us to do. So it is telling us remove the used red foil, load the fine tip blade, and then press the go button. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to go to our overhead, and we're just going to slowly, just gently take our tape off. Okay, just grabbing the bottom, and again, you don't want to tear what you have stuck it to, so just go slowly. I find too, like, peel it right back on itself. I find don't lift it straight up or anything like that, just roll it back on itself. Again, go slowly because you don't want to damage that cardstock. Okay, because this could be a small embellishment on a larger project, and if you rip it, well, then it's going to be visible. So just go slowly, and we get to see beautiful foil design. Okay, then I can go a bit faster on the outsides because it's just stuck to the mat. Here's our little foil embellishment here, sorry. Okay, so apologies if I hadn't shown you, if I hadn't swapped back then, but basically just roll it back on itself, the tape, just go really, really slowly, and you probably can't see, but there are no tears, there's none of the cardstock is torn or being lifted or anything like that. It's perfectly in place. Now I want to take out my transfer tool, and I want to add in my fine point blade, and then we press our flashing C. And now it's obviously going to cut that piece. So again, that's the thing that I did the most, and when I made many, many mistakes when I first started using foil, was I kept ejecting the mat. When I'd forgotten I needed to change color of foils, I had to add a pen or some other tool in order to be able to complete the project. So don't do what I did. Now I can eject the mat, and we'll take this piece off, and I'll just show you up close what that looks like. Get the mat out of the way. And there we go. So just go to my overhead. Okay, so again, looks pretty normal, but then when you catch it in the light, it's probably going to be really hard to see. But up close and personal, it's just beautiful and shiny and glistening, and just really, really pretty. Just so different to a pen that's just got that really flat color. So really, really cool embellishment. So there we go. We've done all of our cutting. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions at all in regards to foiling. But I am going to move my mat and everything out of the way, and we're going to construct this card. Okay. Joe's running a bit late. Don't worry, Joe. It's totally fine. You can watch the replay after this finishes. Great. I'm glad that you're getting some good tips out of this one. Yeah, look, again, it's trial and error. So just, don't be too hard on yourself. Just, take it slow. And what I've also found is if with the fine tip blade or the fine tip tool, I just use it as I would, as the standard settings. If I'm using a bold tip or even sometimes a medium tip, I might lessen the pressure a little bit just so it's not dragging so much on the foil, and that can sometimes help as well. So Brenton's planning on doing some foiled Valentine's cards. That's awesome. Make sure that you share them on the page. Love to see them. That's excellent. Megan's used the foil a few times, but haven't had much luck. And it tends to tear a little bit. So again, try less pressure, and making sure that it is really taut. That's the biggest thing that you need to do. It really, really needs to be as taut as you can possibly get it. And definitely less pressure if you're using the bold or the medium tip. All right, so let's construct this card. So here is my base. Now it's hard to see, but there are 1, 2, and 3 score lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold in on the first score line. So what we're going to do is we're going to start folding that, and once it starts folding, starts creasing, start bending it over a bit. Okay, and then the first of the tools come into play, handy dandy bone folder. Okay, this is going to give you really, really crisp edges with your fold to get really, really professional results without tearing your cardstock. Now, I've included a link to one that's on Craft Online, but you can get these. I found it a little bit hard to get in Spotlight, but you can get them in craft stores. I've just included a link literally from the first link I found when I Googled. So it's not a particular preference or anything like that. That's just the links that I found. Yep. Now, the next one, we're going to fold, we're going to do a valley fold on the first score line, and then we're going to do a mountain fold on the second one. So let's fold that first fold line. Okay, and again, just making sure it all squares up on the top and the bottom. And nice and sharp edges there. Okay, and then we're going to fold this one back. Okay, and that is basically what is, a card is going to be closed like this, and then it's going to flip. So that's the flip mechanism there. Yeah. Okay, so now we're just going to add on our little embellishments. And I've also included here, you don't have to use this, but I did include in the file a small white panel that you might want to, if you're doing like a dark colored cardstock like me, and maybe you want to be able to write a sentiment here. I've included that, but you don't need to use that. The reason that I've made it narrower than this section is because if I made it any bigger, when the card was closed on the other side, you would potentially see it on the other side. And I didn't know whether that would be very appealing, so I just made it smaller so it would be basically invisible. Completely up to you if you want to do that or not. And now we're going to add some of our embellishments. So first and foremost, what we're going to do is I'm going to add my recycled little love heart here. I really like this, like beautiful silver poster board. I've got my Scotch tacky glue. Again, links to both of these are in the description below. Scotch tacky glue, it used to be in a red bottle, so don't worry if you see it in a red bottle, that's the same glue. It's hard to get in store, so again, I've included a link. I think Craft Online sells it, and I put it into a fine tip glue bottle. Now you can get these on Amazon. I think Lincraft have them, Craft Online sell them, lots of places sell them, and I just squeeze my glue into here, and that just gives me a really good fine applicator for applying my glue. Best glue, can't recommend it enough. Anyone that knows me knows that I've been using this for a long time. What I also love about it is that if it dries, if you make a mess, it does dry clear, and it won't stain your cardstock project. It's good as well for adhering acetate and things like that as well. I do tiny little dots of glue. This is how I glue all my projects together, and they haven't fallen apart yet. So you don't need a lot. That's probably way too much there. I'm just going to dab some of that off. And I'll show you an alternative. If you're desperate and you can't wait for the online deliveries, I'll show you another option that is very good as well. So we'll just put that on here. Okay, and glue that down. It's liquid glue, so you can get a little bit of wiggle room before it dries. You can sort of just move it around and make sure it's nice and precise. But that's our first part of our card taking shape. Now, I mentioned an alternative. If you can't get that glue, you can try this Zig 2A pen. So Zig 2A pen, I used to buy it in store at Riot. I know they're obviously no longer, you can't go in store, but this is, you can get a really narrow, like a pen tip, and you can get a thicker tip as well. But this is really good because again, you can just do dots of glue, and yeah, absolutely brilliant as well if you're stuck. But yeah, can't go. This is absolutely the best. All right, so now let's do some embellishments. I am going to put my inner panel in here as well. Again, I've recycled this, so it was coloured on one side and white on the other. This is my tape runner, the glue tape runner that I use. It's from Officeworks Kokuyo. It's brilliant. It leaves behind little dots of glue. If you get the pink one, it's little hearts of glue. The reason that I love it so much is because if you make a mistake, you can just rub it off with your finger and it comes completely off. So it's absolutely brilliant. So absolutely recommend this one. You just buy refills, which are really cheap. I actually do click and collect at Officeworks. I'll buy like 10 refills at a time, and then just wait till they're in store. They ring me or send me an email to tell me to go and collect them. And yeah, really, really good. Yes, Lynn, I was saying, did you cut yourself? What was it? Yes, I did cut myself. So yeah, I've been wearing a Band-Aid a little bit lately. Hopefully not for too much longer. So yeah, it's a bit yep, manky under there. I didn't want to show you that. Megan, I hope I'm saying Megan right, or Megan. You bought the Kokuyo as well, and you love it. Brilliant. It really, yeah. I mean, I've made cards for years. I've been using these products for years. Tried and tested. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put our little To My Valentine on the inside, because that's going to be our little reveal when we open the card. So again, some glue, and again, look, I've just got some glue there in a V shape. You don't have to go crazy with glue. Don't smother it. You know, it's not. It's just be be gentle. Use sparingly. So we're just going to stick that on, and again, that's now going to, when we open our card, ta-da, a little surprise there. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add our embellishment to the other side of the heart. So when the card is closed, this is going to have a little bit of detail. It's going to have a couple of things. Firstly, it's going to have this little love heart cutout, which is going to go here. So we'll pop that on. I might just open that piece. It'll make it a bit easier for me to get this on. So again, getting our little dots of glue. And this is why the fine tip is so useful, because, well, one, you're hardly using any glue, so it's really economical. Like I just, I'm gluing stuff all the time and it just lasts and lasts and lasts. But you can get really, really detailed little dots. So you're not getting glue everywhere. It's not oozing out and making a mess. Actually, we'll do it this way. Again, because it's that liquid glue, I do have a little bit of wiggle room before it dries. We'll stick that down. And as I say, if a little bit comes out, it dries clear, so you can't see it. So there we go. So it's starting to take shape there. And this is going to have a little butterfly embellishment. So here we've got our little butterfly, which is just a little green and pink detail. So we're going to do a couple of things with this. First of all, I just want to have this have a little bit of dimension. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend these wings up a little bit. All right, so that they are going to stay up a little bit dimensional. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little dab of glue here on the head and on the tail where they're still flat, right? And then I'm going to glue it onto the green piece. Probably should have picked a different background because it's green on green. It's a bit hard to see, but it's okay. So I'll stick that down. So then the leaves are going to be a little bit dimensional there. Yeah. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little foam squares. Now these are the ones that I use all the time. They're paper craft. I get them 1/4 inch and also 1/2 inch. And I buy them at Spotlight all the time. Whenever they're on sale, I just grab a pack. And they are the best ones that I have found. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a foam square there in the middle. And then I'm going to take my little butterfly and I'm going to stick that there. Again, just bending up those wings. So again, we've got a little bit of dimension. So this is going to be the card closed. We're getting a little bit of dimension there. Opens up. Yeah, cute. And then again, flip it around to my Valentine. Okay, so we're getting there. We've just got to add some flowers and we are done. So again, what are you guys doing? Are you doing anything for the Australia Day weekend? Anything special? What's everyone up to? What are you crafting? I've not been crafting a lot, I must admit. I've been enjoying a bit of a break. I've been missing it, but it's been nice just to kind of chill and not sort of, worry so much about crafting and just kind of, relax and enjoy myself and enjoy my family because I've been away and things like that. So I'm just working out how I'm going to place these. So now with the leaves, what I'm going to do is I'm going to only just put a little bit of glue here and then I'm going to try and curl up some of the leaves a little bit. So I'm just going to, a little bit of glue, maybe even just on the base here. Right, just tiny little bit of glue. I'm going to pop this around about here. And you can see it's actually going over the edges a little bit. Okay. Just let that dry a bit. So you can see here that I've gone over the edges a little bit. And the reason being that I'm just going to curl that with my finger. Okay, you can curl it with a pencil or another tool or whatever works for you. I'm just using the things that God gave me. Curl those up. All right, again, just giving it a little bit more of interest, a little bit more of detail. If you're a stamper, you could color these. They would be really beautiful. And then I'm going to add my flower. Now, what I'm also going to do with this flower is going to be a little bit tricky. I'm going to glue down the bottom to the card, but I'm going to prop this up with a foam square. So I hope that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little foam square, pop it in the middle of my flower, the back of my flower. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue down here. All right. Okay, so I'm going to glue that down, but then I want to prop the top of the flower off. Up. Can't speak. Find the words, Paul. Find the words. All right, so down we go, and I'm going to just glue it. I'm going to glue it right here, and then prop that flower up. Oh, someone's been playing with infusible ink and sublimination blanks. What have you been doing? What have you been sublimating? Let me know. What have you used it on? So again, here we go. It's attached here on the bottom of the card, but then it's propped up with the flower on top of the leaves. So again, just adding some more interest, more detail. You could use pattern paper for these as well. That would be really pretty. And then now we're going to do the same thing down here with our last two flowers. So these are two layers. So there's a darker pink and a bright pink. I glued them already together, some of them, but I'll just show you again. Not rocket science. I'm sure you can work out how I did this. Just little dots of glue. Again, you can see that I'm not too fastidious about it. And then just matching those two layers up. and then just gluing them down. So super interesting, boring, nothing very interesting there. And now we're going to glue on the rest of our leaves and our other 2 flowers. And we are done ski. So let's have a wee look-see how we're going to do this. So again, I'm just going to put a little dab of glue here in case I want to fold those flowers up as well, or those leaves rather. Okay. Making sure it's still going to open. Yes, it is. And I realise there's a little bit of cardstock that didn't quite come out there. Okay, so it's still going to open. Yes, good. We don't want to stop the mechanism from actually working. And then likewise with these leaves, I'm going to go over the edge as well because I will definitely curl up these bigger ones. Okay. We'll just put those there. This is a really good tool as well, I'll show you, because it's really useful. This is my Silhouette Pick Me Up tool. I've included a link to a We Are Memory Keepers one on Craft Online. It's really useful. The reason being that if you're doing small fiddly bits, you can just pick it up and place it wherever you need it to go. Really useful for those small, delicate projects. So I always get asked about this one. Again, there's a link in the description to one very similar. Okay, so I'm going to just, again, in fact, I might just use my Cricut pen to just curl these up. Okay, again, you can just use your fingers. Don't even bother with it. Just glue them a little bit higher. Again, just trying to give it some dimension, some realism. And then I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to glue down my flower at the stem, and then I'm going to prop it up with a foam square. So you obviously make this however you want to make this. I'm just doing it what feels right for me. Okay. In fact, I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it like this actually. Feels right. We've got one there, and then our last flower, which I will pop under here, and I think I'm going to do the same thing. But I'm just going to I think I'm just going to poke it underneath this flower and just prop up the main part of the flower. I think that will be enough, and that will keep it nice and tidy. Under it goes. And there is our card. So closed. And then, ta-da! Open with our little foil embellishment there. Could easily make a card, an envelope for this as well that it's going to fit into. Nice lovely bit of dimension there with those leaves and the flowers and the little butterfly. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me just check some of your comments. Oh, nice quick one today, only 35 minutes. All little dog tags so far. Got a bunch of different blanks to try out. I've actually got some aluminium sheets of Cricut that I need to do some infusible ink on, so I'm looking forward to that. But look, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, if you like what you've seen today, make sure you hit the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel. Next Thursday for Cricut for Australians, 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, Natalie will be live, and she's going to be doing a Valentine's Day project as well with gnomes. So I think she's making a Valentine's gnome, which I'm really excited. I cannot wait to see that project. But look, once again, thanks a lot. Enjoy your long weekend if you're having a long weekend. If you've got any more questions, pop them in the comments below and I will get back to you. And yeah, thanks for joining me today. Have a wonderful weekend. See you later. Bye.